Dear friends of the Violet Rays Garage, today I would like to share some information about the kicker coil in the Violet Ray healing devices with you. Um, what is the function? The kicker coil drives the heartbeat of the device. The heartbeat of the device is in the Wagnerian hammer. You see this blue sparkle. This is the heartbeat of the device, and without kicker coil, it would not be possible. The kicker coil gets the power from the line directly and passes the power to the Wagnerian hammer, to the metal tank that is moving with high speed. The kicker coil delivers 400 volts and reduces the strength of the energy to 0.1 ampere. And the kicker coil gets the supply with a very thin wire. So if you are walking with the kicker coil, be careful. There are thin connections. The kicker coils are available in several versions. You have the 110-volt version with one input, you have the 220-volt version with one input, and you have the 110 and 200-volt version. There are normally two inputs for the energy. So what you should keep in mind, the strength of the energy and the kicker coil, they have to fit together. If you give 110 volts in a 220-volt kicker coil, nothing will happen because the resistance is so high that the energy gets stuck in the system. If you give 200 volts on a 110-volt device, the power of the voltage, the power of the energy is much too high for the voltage, for the resistance of the kicker coil, and so the kicker coil will burn. That's not good. Okay, this is the same with the two different voltages, 110 and 220 volts. Be careful about this. You can destroy your device. Okay, the kicker coil in the system. As we already heard, the kicker coil connects the tank of the Wagnerian hammer with the line. And in the system, the kicker coil is the heart of the first swinging circuit. A violet ray healing device has two swinging circuits. The one is the circuit here, and the other one, the second swinging circuit is the handle. And so without the kicker coil, nothing would work in the whole system. So to give you some values, values are important if you want to find out why your device is not working or is working much too strong. The 110 volt needs to deliver around 60 to 90 ohm. If you check your kicker coil and you see there is no ohm and nothing, this means that the kicker coil has been burning inside, and so the resistance has gone down because the energy is taking shortcuts through the system, and so the power will not arrive or will arrive much too strong. If 220 volt, you should have around 150 to 250 ohms. So if you measure this ohm via the thin wires at the beginning and at the exit of the kicker coil, this is the value that you should achieve. If the coil has been burned inside, the value will be much lower, and therefore your Wagnerian hammer will hammer like crazy. So if this is the case, check the values of the kicker coil. And the other thing is the 110 to 120 volt. This is a combination of both. It normally has two accesses to the kicker coil. Especially is the hollow electron. The hollow electron is made for 110 and 220 volts, but only has a kicker coil for 110 volts. This is the reason why the 200-volt input is directed in a special way to a resistor that reduces the 220 volts to 110 volts. So if your hollow electron is not working or is hammering much too hard, this means that the resistor is defect. So this is information also for repairers. Be careful about this. Structure of the kicker coil. So if you need to build a new kicker coil, which is not so funny, here are some hints for you. There are two technologies, the old and the new technology. The old one I found also in a book of Mr. Nodorf. He explained the building, the complete building of a violet ray healing device. And I can tell you it's a lot of work that you have to do if you're doing it with the old technology. The complication is the wires need to be close to each other, so and they need to be exactly wire to wire to wire to wire. And for us, this means around 200 to 300 windings per layer. The layers are isolated with a paper. I checked the quality of this paper with a lot of old devices, and it's normally it's newspaper or it's not specially treated with chemicals or with wax, so it's just normal paper. And as you see here, the the layers of the windings are reducing, coming to the top of the kicker coil. This means you want to avoid that at the end of the windings are exactly over each other. This can reduce the capacity of the coil. So a lot of work, you need a lot of focus. Last time it took me 4 to 5 hours to get this halfway done. And really, don't do it. The new, the new technology I found this Kirkland device from 1970. Um, it's easier to wind because you have three different compartments, and in each department you can wind the wire up to a certain height, and then you switch to the next compartment and then do it again. This is much faster, less complicated because the windings cannot wobble around and get in a disorder. So much from my side for today about the kicker coil. I hope you enjoyed this information and I wish you a very nice Sunday. Have a nice time.